Oh, dang it. Sorry, guys. Completely forgot that the timer was almost done. So, welcome everyone. How y'all doing? Hope everyone is okay, doing fine. So yeah, this week has been fun. So let me show you guys my finished project, the latest one. Cause I don't know if you guys, I don't know if you guys are aware, but I started doing. I think I told this on the last stream, but basically I'm starting to uh, speed up some stuff, and the thing is, I've committed myself to do something like a miniature. The fuck, there's a hair in there. So I have committed myself to do like a mini per week. It's been really fun and weird as well, cause I've never done this type of shit. Not not in speed painting, but I'm trying to like stop being so hard on myself when I'm trying to paint, and it actually helped me to achieve certain things that before I took a really long while because it was never enough for me. So yeah, let me just. So, now that the post is already done, so basically, yeah, as I was saying, it's really hard for me to sometimes let it go, you know, and be on that spectrum where I can easily, like finish a job. So what happened to me was a lot of the times I ended up extending a lot of the paintings that I was doing. But yeah, getting to the material, that's what you guys are here to watch. So basically, this is the mini that I just painted this week. It's a Death Guard. We have two types of OSL right now, where you can see the toxic gooiness coming from the pipe. The pipe was done with, what's the name of this thing? Oh, it's styrene. Yeah, polystyrol plates, or in this case, tubes. I found them on PK Pro online. Yeah, the rest of the base was all done either with resin or either with epoxy sculpt. So what I use is this too. This is like a two compounds where you mix them together and stuff, and then you have like a really thick paste where you can actually mold it. And I did the bricks, I did all these cool patterns, I laid it down some sand as well, and I don't know what else did I do. Put on some rocks and stuff. Yeah, I 3D printed the skulls with my resin printer, and I also added, I don't know if you guys can actually see it, but I added some balls, which you can see here, because it feels like it's a bubble, right? So this thing that I added, it's something that I stole from my girlfriend, because she's a nail artist, and they do have this little balls of all types, as you can see and what I did was I inserted them inside the resin, but just on the top layer, and it actually helps you create that effect where it has some balls coming out as those balls of air are almost how do you say it, exploding, something like that. So with that said, this is my finished project. I've never done like non-metallic copper, as you can see. If the camera decides to focus, yeah, there. You can see that I have a non-metallic pattern right beneath it. I even did the rust, non-metallic here as well, a non-metallic on this metal parts as well. And I think it did it like a really cool effect, not gonna lie. I didn't went too much on the tentacles because I was almost out of time, but I think they have like a really good color. Yeah. The OSL that you see under the helmet per se, it was done with the brush, just in case you're wondering. So yeah, this is my finished piece. And from the latest stream, we also have, because I didn't finish it yet, I haven't finished on the stream, we also have this one. Look, I even did. Why is it not focusing? I don't get it. Maybe I should zoom it. Let me zoom it. Because if I zoom it, it's better. Let me zoom it, let me zoom it. Okay, here we go. So as you can see, I even did the freaking eyes, which were a pain in the ass because it's really tiny. This one is 28 millimeters as a mini. So the purpose here was, and I know the mini sounds, well, it looks like a little, it's not bland, but it looks like I could add more colors and stuff to it, right? But what I did was I bought the deck of cards from Ninjan, right? And he already announced some of the cards on his YouTube channel. And I was doing this one, the 31. And yeah, I grabbed those 5 colors and I only painted them with those 5 colors. That's the cool thing about this project, is I managed to only use 5 colors, which is insane because you think that you normally like to fetch a bunch of colors, and sometimes I ended up using like more than 10 colors on a mini, which is insane. And sometimes I get so lost that I can't remember how in the freaking hell have I done that certain type of color, you know, because I mixed so many that I lose myself. And this project that I did was really, really cool, and I strongly advise you guys, because it really helps you understand how with so few colors you can harmoniously put them together, and the way that the colors work, like they're meant to be together, right? Because it's a color scheme that was picked for a reason. So yeah, you can even see that the skull and everything, the OSL that I did, I kind of mimicked the original box art painting from Lucas from Squidmar. But yeah, I didn't use their paints. It's actually insane, I think, this one. So, but today's stream is not about the, it's not about the paintings that we are going to do, that we did. It's about the paintings that we are going to do. So let me just prep this here really quick. Oh, actually, no. First things first, let me put these things on the side and let me grab my drill because I need to fix something on this tiny squig hog. So actually let me show you guys what I'm planning to do, but basically I still need to 3D print oh god. Really? So the hole that I did for the mini, it's closed. Let me see if I can actually drill it out. Let me see if I can drill it out really quick. Because I think I can without ruining the miniature, the base. Okay. Okay, now we're talking. Now we are talking. Let me just squeeze it. So the purpose here for this mini is to put it like it's almost I'm going to 3D print a bunny that I found online, like a model. I'm going to 3D print it, and then what I'm gonna do, let me just put this a little bit over here because it's better this way for you guys. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna 3D print a bunny, and then I'm gonna put like the bunny right up the edge, as if the squig hog is almost catching it, like a dramatic scene where the bunny's almost getting eaten. Yeah, as if he's jumping up the log and almost turning. I think it will be a good piece. Not gonna lie. Now that I started it, I think I should have done on a bigger base, but yeah. Fuck it. But I do have some imperfections on the printing here, where I want to sand them down just really quick so they don't get that noticeable on the painting job, and then we'll be doing the priming on this ones. I'll be painting the bunny later. No, sorry. Tomorrow, maybe. Because I still need to 3D print it. And I haven't. And I only 3D print stuff when I'm around. And tomorrow I won't be around, so yeah. So, without further ado, let me just grab my drill here. And let me just get also this thing, which is a fan for the freaking nail artists. Yeah. So it's a fan to grab like dust. This way, dust doesn't go everywhere. So the drill that I like to use is this one, which is actually really, really tiny. And hopefully I can speed up this thing so you guys don't. Just so you guys don't be here wasting your time. Okay, there's a hole here. I'm just sanding down the holes that some of the supports normally live. Unfortunately, we haven't improved yet on that part. 3D printers, as good as they can be, they still leave some supports onto the minis. Even when you use like good supports. As you can see, like the tail broke, so I had to sculpt it as well. Where was it? Like I saw, oh, it's right here on the arm. Also, I ordered a new mat from Red Games. I finally found a company that sells them and ships them to Portugal, which is awesome. Which is quite awesome. So yeah, I'm finally getting the A3 size. No, sorry, the A2. Because I have the A3 at this moment, and I feel it's not as big as it should be. So I think that's all. Let me check. So here, oh, there's a little tiny one on the mouth. A little support there, and I think that's it. I think this one was mainly it was mainly printed like this, so it didn't have too much support, which is quite awesome. If you play with the angles, I guarantee that if you pick the best angle possible for the 3D print, you'll see that you get really fine results, but still it's not the same thing as using plastic minis, because the result will always be the same. Plastic minis are really smooth. I wish we could do them. That would be awesome. But we just finished this cleaning here on the. We have a small imperfection right there. Okay, I think we are cool. There's no hole on the garment, no holes on the feet or skin or on the squig, which is good, right? I think it is. So we may proceed with carefully to the priming. Yeah, we're cool. Nice. So let me just put this on the side. This one here. And I can move this ones to the side as well. So we are going to prime. Let me put this cover here. Maybe here. Let me put it this or something like that. Nah, it's better on this side. Yeah. So let me just prepare my compressor here really quick. Nice. So let me grab my airbrush and my primer. So normally the primer that I use is either AK or either Vallejo, but they have some slight difference. This one, even though it's not written anywhere, at least that I know of, actually let me check. Yeah, it's not written anywhere. This one has a matte finish, like a really matte finish, which helps on certain things, but I really like the shininess from Vallejo. So I strongly recommend you guys the one from Vallejo. That's my go-to, not gonna lie. So, airbrushing or priming with your airbrush, what I normally tell to people is to first things first, let's dip some thinner or water, whatever you want to call it, or whatever you want to use it, onto the airbrush. Okay. We connect just a little bit. You spray it just a little bit, just to make the thinner going to the inner parts of the needle and the nozzle. And then now is when you're going to add the primer, right? So my primer is well mixed already. Normally, to help on the mixture, I use those tiny mixing balls, you know, like this ones, for example, stainless steel mixing balls. You can either use, I've recently purchased, but I didn't receive them yet, the ones from Pro Acryl, which are glass beads, which they are really good as well. So when you put your paint onto the cup, what you can do is you can like cover the tip with a sponge, and then you gently spray. As you see, it will form bubbles. Now the paint is already mixed with the thinner. So if you spray it now you should be seeing paint coming from it. Now be careful, because depending on the amount of thinner that you use, the paint will be really thinned, right? So let's start applying here the primer. The reason I'm using a more thinned primer is because of the grass, mainly. If you use a really thick primer, what is going to happen is it will like build up into the grass, right? And I don't want that. I want the grass to be shown. So I like to thin my primer in a way where the paint will go into the grass, but not in a way where it will like build up and remove the details, because we don't want to remove the details, we want to keep them, right? So yeah. The only downside of doing a really thin primer is you will have like a really thin coat, which can be bothersome in a way where it won't like stick really well to the surface, or it won't protect the paint as well as a thick one, but it won't be removing much detail. For example, if you were to use like a rattle can, that thing, it sprays too much paint. In this type of job, you will be having like so many blobs of paint right into this grass that you would remove the notion of grass because of it, of being too thick. The other downside of doing like a really thin coat of primer like this one is you have to build up the layers, so you have a really good layer thickness. But like I said, in this way you preserve the grass and other details. You don't remove the detail as much with a thin primer. I know a lot of people they are afraid of using airbrush, because sometimes the airbrush clogs and stuff like that, but like if you thin your paints, I almost guarantee you no blockage. And I'm not lying, believe me. I've had my shares of blocked airbrushes, and my problem was I wasn't thinning them enough according to the size of the nozzle. And a good airbrush at the same time makes all the difference as well. So I think the grass already has a good coverage. The mushroom as well, as I'm not seeing anything from previous color, and the log as well. So just giving another coat here. Okay. So now I'm gonna put this on the side and and at the same time I'm just going to add a really tiny bit of thinner and more paint here, because I want it to be this time a little bit more thick, because I'm going to shoot it on the mini. If the paint is thicker, you should be seeing larger bubbles. That's an indication that you can use to understand how thin is your paint. So if your paint is really thin, you should be seeing like really tiny bubbles. But if your paint is thicker, you should be seeing bigger bubbles. So if you see huge bubbles, you already know you fucked up somewhere. So yeah, let me just put my mini here without tilting my airbrush. Okay. So we'll do like a gentle spray. That's what I like to do, is like a gentle spray on it. Just for the first layer to really stick to the surface. Because sometimes with the, how do you say, the oils and stuff from the skin, it prevents a really big portion of the paint to have some adhesion right off the bat. So what I like to do is I like to put on a thin, really thin coat just to see if the surface is okay. If the surface is okay, then I'll go now and add a more generous layer, because like this I know it will stick, because it already has like a layer beneath, right? I don't know what the heck is going on with my camera today, but it's getting out of control. Look at that shit. Fucking hell. Okay. Still have some paint left on the airbrush. Just making sure that the end part of the arms are good. Here under the shirt, under the pauldrons, and inside on the chest. Also, the inner parts of the mouth should be covered as well. Because, like, guys, don't skip on the priming areas, right? Don't skip it. Because I've seen some people, I don't know why, I'm not gonna say names as well, but I've seen some people do really strange things regarding the priming, where they, like, if it's an area where it's not going to be shown, they don't prime it, which is odd, at least for me. Like, even if you're not showing that area, at least put up some paint, right? Like, at least put up some paint. See if, like this, I can grab this little part of the leg. Oh yeah, like that. 'Cause I know I've missed some parts here. Here on the feet. And in case you're wondering, no, using an airbrush, it doesn't take this time. I'm taking this time because there are some parts where I sand it down, but you still see some really tiny scratches, and I'm just building up another layer to hide them. So, in case you're wondering, no, airbrushing, it doesn't take this long. I'm just correcting some mistakes that I did with the airbrush, with the sanding process. Yeah, that should do it. So let me just clean. In case you're wondering, how do I clean? I have like a funnel here, and I use a squirt bottle with distilled water, and I spray into the cup while tilting it downwards, and in this case the paint will just all get out from the cup. I then use a cotton head just to remove this bigger portion of like paint around the rim of the cup. I throw that to the side, and then I fill the cup. And what I like to do is, even when the cup is with good water, I spray it and I cover the tip, and then I do bubbles. And you will see that the water is turning out now black. This is a good way, because like this you're pulling up the inner parts of the nozzle. You are forcing the paint to come out from the opposite side, so it doesn't dry onto the needle. Right? So like this, now it has no bubbles of black paint, which means that it's cleaned. This is a bigger nozzle, so it's really easy for it to be cleaned right away in a faster motion than the other ones that have like a really thinned needle, like a smaller needle, a 0.2 if I'm not mistaken. Then I like to use like some cleaner. I have this one from Green Stuff World. I don't like it too much, only because the smell is really strong, which means that the solution it's more aggressive. It doesn't do anything to your brush actually, but still, I prefer the one from Vallejo. I feel like the one from Vallejo, even though it has a lesser smell, at least from my experience, it gives the notion that it removes paint easier. So I do prefer the one from Vallejo, in case you're wondering. Vallejo on that side is really, really good. So I removed the airbrush just for a little bit. I put this one on the side, which I won't be using for now, because this one is the larger needle. And I'm gonna put my infinity here, where I'll be maybe doing some shadows. I'm not quite sure which shadows. So maybe in a way, I think I will be like spraying some brown onto the base. Not sure if this brown will do. Let me see if I have a more earthy brown than this one. Let me remove this thing from the side here. Let me see. Earthy brown. What can we get from earthy brown? Afro Shadow, I think it's more on the reddish side, or not. It's not. So this is a good one. So we'll go with Afro Shadow for the base one. And I'll think of a highlight and a shadow for the work, for the goblin, in a way. So the squig are red, which means if we are going to do like complementary colors and stuff, so red, what could be the shadow of red? Maybe a violet or a pink. Yeah, a red violet one. The York skin is red, is green. It's like that pale green. So if I had to use it, the squig, I was thinking of painting the squig red, because I think red actually gives it a really nice color, and maybe doing like some like skin tone beneath it, right? Some pinkish tone around the gums of the mouth. So here is non-metallic metal. I don't know. This is actually hard. I wasn't thinking too much about this. What you guys think? I think like I should do. Let me just remove an air here. Oh my freaking god, this. Let me see if I can grab with this one. Of course, I had it primed. Freaking hell, I didn't notice. I had like this hair. Okay, so I don't know. I'm actually really divided. Maybe I'll do like a purple from one side. Yeah, maybe I'll do a violet red from one side and a blue from the other. Let me just check really quick which one I normally use. Because I think I have it right here really fast. So it's on Ninja channel, the one that I use. I think it was on the painting of the mini of Legal Volten. Where is it? Ninja Votan. Oh yeah, this is the one. Let me see which paint he was using. Maybe I should do the zenithal. Yeah, that would be good as well. Maybe I should do the zenithal just to help with some of the colors to be more vibrant. And then, yeah, we'll do that. And then it's a purple and a bluish tone. So he uses purple from one side, blue from another. Oh, so he puts blue on top. Maybe I should do like blue and red. Yeah, maybe I should do blue and red. Let me check really quick. Let me just check really quick, and then we'll move in. Yeah, we'll do that. So let me grab my ink, my white ink here. Let me shake it really quick. I really need to find some Liquitex ink, because I've seen a lot of people using ink, like Liquitex, right? But I feel like the one from AK is not as strong as it should. What in the world? So look at this. I haven't cleaned yet my airbrush, but look, it has some small paint on it. This is why it's good for you to What in the world? Have I like forgotten to clean it? I don't remember. Well, the paint is out, so fuck it. Where's my squirt bottle? Here it is. Let me just remove the cleaner really fast so it doesn't mess up with the paint. Okay, now we're Gucci. So what I'm gonna do, like I said, we'll be adding a little bit of thinner here, and then we're going to add a little bit of the white ink. With this we will be creating the zenithal highlight, which a lot of people talk about. Don't worry if it's a little bit thinned, for the airbrush is okay. So we do the same thing. We cover the tip, and then we spray gently to form bubbles. I spray a little bit just to test on the back of my hand. Okay, it's good. So let me start on the log here. So the light is going to come from above, but still, I'm going to make sure that all the parts of the mushroom here are really well lit. My problem with the one with the ink from AK is this: you can't like add too much thinner to it because it's already too thin. I don't know why, and it takes a little bit of, it takes a while to build up. But look, it's already looking good, right? But we're still going up. Oh shoot. No, it was too aggressive on the trigger. So this is going to be like a fantasy team, right? So I don't want to spare the highlights here. Let me add a little bit of more white because I feel like this is too thin. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe 3 drops is already enough. Let's mix it again, forming the bubbles. Now trying out on the back of my hand. Okay, so now it's a little bit more stronger, the white. See, painting is all about this. If you see that it's not what you like or what you want, you just need to correct it. Okay, so that's a good zenithal right there. Okay. Okay, so the base is okay for now. So let's go on to the mini. So like the light as well. I'll be doing like the light is coming from above, like from the front. What I like to do is this. I like to spray it out from further. I don't know why my cover closed itself. And then I have like the, you see, I have like the sketch in a mirror speech. So what I do next is I come down with a lighter trigger and I start like with a lighter trigger and then I just fuck it up. Nice. Frickin' hell, bro. My cat was here yesterday and she already left a shit ton of hair. Like, I freaking hate this. Freaking hate it when she leaves so much hair. Okay, so highlighting this, highlighting the tail here, just a little bit, the feet as well. And the jaw. The hoodie. The bells on the thing. Oh shoot, that was too much. Oh, off frame. Oh shit. Just hope I didn't damage the needle. Let me just check one thing really quick. Because I think the hair, exactly, the hair that I removed just fucked up my primer paint. Look at that. It's fucking hell, bro. Well, shouldn't have removed it, right? Shouldn't have removed it. Because the other one is okay. The other hair is okay, but this one, fucking hell, bro. Actually, it's not. It was all clogged here. So let me grab a little bit of the primer and let's fix it with a brush. We'll use a synthetic one for this. Let me grab my water pot here really quick. Do I have a smaller one? I do. Nice, we'll use a smaller brush for this. While it's drying, let me clean my airbrush because it has paint, so I don't want the paint to dry out on the airbrush. The only thing that I don't like to use on the airbrush, it's the ink. Like, ink it's so hard to get out from the airbrush. Even though you clean it, you'll still see a little bit of ink coming out, God knows from. Only God knows where it comes out. A fucking elbow. It's really harsh to sometimes clean the airbrush when you have this type of paint. It's thick and full of pigment. So yeah, now that it dried, let's add another layer so it gets even, but now only into the hole. We'll do this like a couple of 2 to 3 times, and then it's good for us to do again the zenithal, and hopefully it will mask. Hopefully, just hopefully. Let me use the airbrush just to speed up the drying process now that it's cleaned. Okay. Okay. I think we're almost good. Yeah, we're almost there, look. It's almost at the same height. Let's just do it. Just one more. And I think we're good. Let's spray it from a little bit further away so we don't move the puddle of paint that we put. So on the top, it's already done, I think. And on the bottom, from what I'm seeing as well, is good. Yeah, nice. So I think like this is good. So I still want to increase the I still want to increase, where the heck did my cloth go? So I still want to increase the zenithal highlights. Not by too much, but I still want to increase it. Let me just grab my water bottle, because I don't know where it went. It's right here. Yo, I had a piece of cloth where I normally like to wipe my brushes on, but somehow I lost it. What the fuck? How in the world did I lost a piece of cloth that it's right here? I don't have it on me, so where in the world did it go? I don't know. Fuck it. I have another one here, so I'll use that one instead. Sure. So again, this time I will be only putting 2 drops. Okay, 2 drops of thinner, and I'll be using a lot more ink this time because I want to speed up. We've been with this for too long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to 2 to 3 drops of thinner. We shall see if this works. Yeah. Oh yeah, way much paint. Way much white. So let's try and be careful here, because I don't want to be jumping down too much and creating like a thick layer. I don't want to do that. And I want to keep some stuff on the shadow. Okay, so now we're almost done. Let me look at it. Oh yeah, way nicer. Let me just put a little bit more white here on the leg. Here again on the side and on this top part. On this. On the downside of the gloss here, of the shirt of him. Okay, we'll do it like that. So, now we're good. I'm gonna put a little bit more white here. To be a little bit more vibrant. Okay. So now we are going to go with the shadows and highlights. A lot of the people like to do on the opposite side, so they like to do like base color and then from the base color going into the shadows. So they lay down the base color, then they go with the shadows. I like that method, but I think I like it more when I do shadows and highlights and then I have to build up. Because that way the shadows and the highlights will be more intense. And since I want to give it like a, how do you say it? Like a fantasy sort of like feel, I want to give it a really different vibe. So, with that said, we are going to use a purple and a blue. So, for the blue, I don't know which blue I'm gonna use. Let me check really quick. So I think I'll do like ultramarine blue. Fuck it. Where is it? It's this one. Ultramarine. Ultramarine. So I'll go with this one. This will be from the top and I think I'll be doing, I don't know which one I should be doing. Which purple? Because it's tricky. See if I can grab a glimpse of what color it is. Okay, so it's lost something. Let me check. It's not magenta. It's not deep violet. Deep purple, violet red. I don't know. I don't think I have more. So we either have dark blood. Oh, maybe it's lilac. What's the reference? Is that what you're asking? What's the reference? Hey, Tickle Pickle. So there is no reference. I'm going in with the flow. I'm just trying to understand which color I'm going to use as shadows. So this is what I'm doing. I did this base where you have the log, and then I have the squig jumping on the log and almost like grasping on a rabbit. The thing is, I wanted to use like a, oh, maybe it's this one, laser magenta. Yeah, we'll go with this one. So I want to give like a shadow and a highlight beneath it, just to make it look like fantasy style, right? I'm still deciding, not gonna lie. I like to go with the flow and see where it goes. So first, I'll be adding just a little bit of the shadows, and we'll see how it looks. But maybe I'll go with in between, because I'm doing some projects here where I do like a miniature per week. So and since I'm doing like a mini per week, I can't be doing something really serious where I might be spending a lot of time. You know what I'm saying? Why is this paint so thick? I don't get it. So, as usual, thinner first on the airbrush. then paint, then we bubble it up until it's mixed. Try it out. For some reason there was a little bit of white. We have some speckles with it, which means why not Halloween pumpkin fun time? Well, I don't know. Didn't think of it. Actually, didn't come up to mind. Like I was deciding this yesterday, and what I did was I looked at this miniature and I don't know, I just thought of, well, it will be looking good if we had like a log and it was almost eating a bunny, right? So yeah, I just went with it. I didn't actually thought about the pumpkin time. Okay, so there's no more speckles. So I think we're good. So let me just twist this, and we'll be doing like some stuff like this from below. We still have some speckling, and it needs more thinner. It's still too thick. Oh, you don't want an airbrush? Well, you can buy a cheap one. It's not the same as having like an expensive one, I'm not gonna lie. There's really huge differences between them. But still, you can buy like a really cheap one. And an airbrush. I just suck really bad and can get it down. Nah. I think that with some tips, you can get it there, believe me. And I'm not saying this just because I want to be on the opposite side, but believe me, with a little bit of tips, I think we can help you out. Cause at the beginning I was like you, I'm not gonna lie, at the beginning. Mainly because I was doing the wrong things. I wish I'd known them sooner, but yeah, it mainly comes down to that. To doing like the wrong stuff, where it was actually making my airbrush experience worse than it should. And I'm not lying. Like I can even show you some works that I did where you can see that the airbrush, it's not good at all. But yeah, it all comes down to that. And there are a lot of people that don't actually give really good advice regarding that, which doesn't help at all also. But yeah, but I totally understand what you're saying. Just almost missing the feet there. And this feet as well. Okay, somehow I have more paint here. Had a little bit of a clog there. And now I should be doing like the blue from above. Let me see if I can clean this really quick. Okay. So I don't know what happened to this paint, but this paint was really thick. So I got ghost ones. I'm sure it's from much thinner, but I don't know the proper paint thickness. What should be like? Okay. So let me help you with that. Let me just clean this right up in a second. Okay, actually, let's go with that. So cleaning. What I do personally and what it helps is you put a little bit of water, clean water, the styled one, because you don't want the normal water because they have some gunks and metal particles and stuff. So the styled water, and then you have like this makeup sponges which are really soft. You press it gently and cover the tip of the nozzle, right? Like you don't see the needle at all. And you press it gently, and then you slowly press the trigger, just a little tiny bit. And as you can see, the water just turned pink, right? So that means that the nozzle had still inside this chamber here a little bit of ink, and we are forcing it down because the water is coming to the tip. Since it can't get out, it will just revert back into the cup. So you remove all this water from the cup. Normally, I like to use these squirt bottles with distilled water on it. I just spray it onto the cup, and now I have another clean water, right? So I'll do the same thing. Look at how the paint is coming right off. So we do some gentle squirts, just remove the paint, remove the water again, clean water on the pot, and we do this maybe 3 to 4 times, and you'll see that you have a clean cup. This is one of the best tips that I can give you regarding cleaning the airbrush in a fast way, so you don't have to be like painting, like removing it and doing a lot of that annoying stuff, right? And if you're using like a squirt bottle, since you spray it like this, I think actually you can. Oh, you can. Like, do you see the stream of water that it's coming here on my webcam? Yeah, it's like a little bit strong, right? It helps like removing the paint from the cup when it's still fresh. So yeah, in a faster way, so you don't spend too much water on it. Okay, so it's cleaned. Now, what I like to do, and here comes the part where you know which thickness you should be using, right? And let me demonstrate to you. So first things first, the first thing you put onto the airbrush, it's not the paint. Because as soon as you put paint, if there's no water on it, it will start to dry. And then it will start to dry onto the chamber. Because if the paint is the first thing that you put on the airbrush, it will go down, it will be sticking here until you press the trigger to remove to remove the paint, right? So to prevent the paint to dry right away, as soon as you put it, you put a little bit of thinner or water. I like to put like 3 drops of thinner onto that. Now you have 3 drops of thinner, right? As soon as you start pumping up some paint, and let me mix it just to guarantee that I have the paint really mixed. Okay, this bottle somehow is also really thick. So remember this, the way that you thin paint. Oh, you got an ad? Sorry. So where were we? Where were you? I mean, what part? What was the last part that you heard? Oh wait, you have an ad now, or you had an ad? 1 minute, I got an ad. Okay, I'll wait until you're Gucci. Let me throw this away. This away also. And I kind of forgot to use the pink to the base. Fuck. Okay, you're back. Nice. Where were you? You okay on this part? You're cool till now? So, we did 3 drops of thinner onto the cup, right? So it's the same thing as when you're like thinning. I don't know if you mentioned the adding. Oh, okay. So, first things first, you want to do is add the thinner first before the paint, so you don't let the paint dry on the chamber, on the nozzle chamber, right? So, thinner first. Normally, I put like 3 drops of thinner. So now, the same way that you have thinner paint ratio on the brush, it's almost the same thing. The only thing that you have to keep in mind is you need to have more thinner than you have like paint. Not in a glaze consistency, but more on the milky side consistency, right? A little bit more watery than the milky, but you'll see in a second. So I'll give you a couple of tips that you can use. So we have 3 drops. We'll put 1, 2, 3 drops of paint. Now we have a 3:3 ratio, right? 1:1. So let's add more to those. We'll use the sponge here just to create some bubbles and to mix the paint with the thinner. Right? We try it out. And the best way is for you to try it out. Like now you see that I'm pressing, look, I'm pressing way back the trigger, and you almost see that it has like a delay, right? So this means that the paint, it's too thick. So let me add a little bit more thinner and a little bit more paint. But less paint than thinner, of course. So let's mix again. Another thing that I said on the beginning of the video is, of the stream, if you see that the bubbles here that you form when you put the sponge, when you see that the bubbles are small, now you know you have like a really thin paint. Okay, so now you can see that I have like a really, like when you're spraying, if you don't see spots, like those really, if you don't see any small speckling, you know, that means that the paint is really nicely dry, it's really nicely thin. But if you pay close attention, like for example here, you'll see that the purple had really small droplets of paint around the rim of the airbrush spray, right? So that means that the paint is too thick. If you don't see that, it means that the paint, it's on a good consistency. And if by any chance, and I'm going to waste a little bit of this paint to show you, I'm going to add more thinner, right? You can see now that the bubbles are smaller than it was before. So if you are really close and you do like a spray, and by any chance you see this webbing, do you see how thin it is right now? Look, it's really thin. Like you can even see, for example, if I do a spray, look at the difference. This one was on the good consistency side because it didn't have any speckles around it, and it had like a really good coverage. But keep in mind that this consistency dries way faster. This one, you can see that it's really transparent, right? So if I want to get to the same like thickness as this ones, as the previous ones, I will have to build up a lot of layers, right? So basically what I like to do is just this. I try it out and I see if I have any speckles around it. If I don't, that's the greatest consistency that you have. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, you just need to be careful. So you need to avoid this speckling that you see around. If you see the speckling, add a little bit more thinner. Use the sponge to mix the paint that you already have. Use this. And you can also understand that the way that it's bubbling, if it bubbles really fast, you have a really thin paint. If it bubbles, if it builds up on the bubble and you see really large bubbles and you see that the paint is thick, well, then you already know it's way too thick. So now that the paint is a little bit on the thin side, I'm going to add just 1 and 2 drops. I think that's enough for it to go down to the previous consistency. So now you can see that the bubbles, that it's forming way slower, right? Let's test it out. Now you have previous consistency, the thinner one for the buildup if you want. And now let's try this new one. So let me remove the paint that we had. Look, way more thick, way more control, no speckling around, okay? We are on the good consistency. This is how I test it out. So every time you see me painting with an airbrush, you will see that my hand is full of patterns. And it's a good thing to use your hand for one occasion. And this is a good tip for you. So as you can see now, I have saved the consistency, the good consistency that I was using. This is a good reminder for you, because now I can compare them, right? Like you can see this one and you can see this one, and they're really similar, even though this one is more focused because I was more close to it. But now I have a saved pattern in a matter of speech, and I know which one is the thin one, and I know which one is the thick one, and which one is the one that I don't want to use, like the one on the pink. So yeah, this is a good way for you to keep a pattern, so you don't, so you keep the same consistency all over. And yeah, I'm working on some videos with a friend of mine, so we can actually deliver to you guys this type of information, because we feel that a lot of people, a lot of the well, thank you for the follow, bro. Oh shit. I wasn't expecting the follow and I pressed the button. You know, a lot of paint just came out. Thank you for the follow, bro. Oh, another cool tip for you. If by any chance you see that paint it's not coming and you don't have like any dry tip, what I advise you to do is to literally anywhere you want. Normally I do on my hand on the same spot, but just pull the trigger right on the maximum, right? And if you don't see any paint coming out, if it's not fluid, just cover it with the sponge a little bit, so the dried paint goes back into the cup, dilutes, and then you can start spraying, right? That's a good way for you to keep track of everything and keep the same consistency. So another cool thing. Nah, you don't need to thank it, bro. You don't need to thank me. We're here for the same reasons. We're all here for the same reasons, just to have fun with miniatures. And I had like a really harsh time with some things, and I just want to share with you guys my knowledge of this stuff, because it really makes the difference. Okay, somehow the entire paint just came off. And now I have the thin one. Let me add a little bit more paint. What was I saying? Wait, I was saying something. Which was... I don't remember. Fuck. It was something related to the painting. Yeah, I want to share with you guys, because I had a really struggle and really harsh time on this journey. In case you don't know, I'm trying to go pro sometime. Maybe someday I'll get to pro, I don't know. But in the meantime, I want to share with you guys my struggles, which have been quite a few, not gonna lie, because mainly a lot of the famous YouTubers and stuff, they don't give the right tips to help you out. The only one that I can give you that actually helps me like a shit ton, it's Ninjan. Ninjan is insane. Like, he gives really cool tips, really cool advice, even cheap tools, you know. He really helps with a lot of that. Not gonna lie. He's really cool. I couldn't get the airbrush down while trying to paint Bad Moon Orcs. Gave up and did 300 liters of yellow by brush. Oof. Oh, you want a cool tip to paint yellow, bro? Straight away. No fucking joke. Oh, almost lost my... Wait. I lost my microphone. So, a really cool way for you to paint yellow, and it's insane. First, do a thin coat. Well, not you can do like a thick coat if you want, but do a coat of magenta or pink. Not joking, bro. If you want a really good and vibrant yellow, do a white coat, pink one, and then give a yellow. Not joking. I learned this in a painting class that I watched online, and it's fucking miraculous. Not joking. It's really that good. In a really few layers, you build up onto that yellow, vibrant yellow. Oh, really? Nice. It's the best way. I'm not joking. It's the best way. I'm glad you already know it, because it's a lifesaver. Not gonna lie. I had that trouble in the past. I think, when was it? Oh, right. I 3D printed a Psyduck, and I was trying to paint it. Oh, I actually have it here. So yeah, this Psyduck that I 3D printed and painted it. As you can see, I tried to paint the beak, and the thing was, you can see that I had white beneath it, but this yellow, I did the pink beneath it, and you can see how much vibrant it is and how smooth and even it is because of that. Because pink beneath yellow, it's just miraculous, and it gives a really strong and vibrant color. It's actually insane. Oh, right. You know one thing? Oh, I remember what I wanted to teach you regarding the airbrush. It's the following. Let me just clean this really quick. So, a good thing for you to have a good experience with the airbrush, it's this. When you're painting with the airbrush, you want to do two things. So you want to control the flow of air, right? So when you press down, air comes comes out. But there's a trick to make the painting experience so much better. It's the following. You press it, air is coming out. So as air is coming out, there's no paint coming out, as you can see. There's no paint, right? So this, you can use the air that it's coming out to dry the layers. So what you want to do is you press down, air is coming out. Now slowly you pull a little bit back and a little bit of paint comes out. And then you stop spraying paint, okay? Then a little bit of paint, you stop it. A little bit of paint, you stop it. A little bit of paint, you stop it. And if it's too thin, you can increase the time that you're waiting between the spraying, right? So you can help it dry. This is the best way to do with the airbrush. A lot of the people don't wait, where you will have, like you said, really wet paint on the surface and the layers don't dry between them. So when you're spraying, don't stop. Like, don't spray and stop. Pull the trigger back, stop putting paint, let the trigger go back to the initial position, let it dry, and as it dries, you pull out, then stop. Let it dry. It's dry right now, pull out. And you continue to do this over and over again until you went to all the minis, right? This is the best way for you to actually have a really smooth and even drying layers. At least that's what I like to do, and it really works. I think, which one it was? Oh, it was on the Harder and Steamback YouTube channel. You can go check it out. They have a shit ton of cool tips that you can use, either to clean airbrush, either to use it where the best practices and everything. Yeah, I know. I haven't, like I said, on the beginning when I bought my first airbrush, which is this one that I bought from AliExpress and everything, I wasn't using these techniques, like these small tips, you know. Oh, almost let it fall. These small tips, you know. So this is what makes all the difference in the world while painting, because a lot of people don't tell you that. And I saw it on the YouTube channel from Harder and Steamback, a really, really old YouTube video, and I was like, holy damn, bro. What? I never thought of that. It skipped my mind totally. But it's what makes the airbrush the airbrush. It's you taking advantage of the air that it's coming out, and you don't stop using it. Oh, another thing, if you spray and release, paint it's coming out, and it gets stuck because you stop the airflow. So this is actually a bad practice, right? So the best practice is you keep the trigger down, air is coming out, and then you pull and you stop pulling, but you still leave that pressure on so the air comes out, right? You don't want to spray and stop, because that way the paint gets stuck here, and you don't want to do that because it will build up that paint, right? So you want to do this over and over again with the amount of time that you see fit until it's dry. And yeah, I think those are the best tips that I can give you to help you with your painting experience. Another thing that actually helped me was don't buy those really cheap compressors. I'm not joking. They're really shit. And they will make your painting experience so harsh that you don't want to do that. The best way is to find, well, you can find a cheap one that at least gives you 20 to 25 psi. Psi is the pressure, right? You know that. So yeah, you wanna keep that in mind because that's a big issue. I was using back in the day a really cheap airbrush that I had bought on, actually yeah, the compressor was on Amazon, and the thing was that compressor only did 16 or 18 psi, so it didn't even get to the 20. What's the problem of that, you may ask? Well, the problem is you don't have enough pressure to push the paint pigment into the barrel of the airbrush. So if you don't have the right amount of pressure, the paint will have a really hard difficulty to go through, so it won't be smooth. That's a big issue, and that's one of the reasons people have a really poor experience, because they don't use the right amount of pressure onto the miniature. Now, there is a good compressor, like a fairly cheap one, we can say it like that, a fairly cheap one. Regarding, what was the name of that company? I think is it Fendga? I don't know. I think it's Fendga. I'm not sure. Let me just clean my airbrush because it's really, really dirty and it's bugging my brain out. Because I don't like to have it this dirty. I got distracted by your follow, the precise moment I was triggering it full throttle, and I ended up screwing this up. I was really newbie, but yeah, we're all noobs on this matter. I'm just so used to using a normal brush so much. I know how long it usually takes to dry. I have an okay tankless compressor for my water. Oh, nice. 90 psi with a 2-stage drying system left over from I used to prime. Oh, nice. That's a really, really good compressor. Wow. Well, if you have that good compressor, you just, like, for example, depending on the paint, I don't know which paint you use, but for example, if I'm using Vallejo, and you can try it out to see if I'm right or wrong. Vallejo paints, actually the pigment is slightly bigger than, for example, AK. AK, even though the paints are a little bit more diluted, you can see that the pigment is a little bit more smaller. How do I know that? Because I need to, normally for the Vallejo, I need a slightly bigger PSI to have like the same smooth experience. What I like to do, so I don't keep like keep changing the nozzle or the gouge of the compressor, what I do is I have this Infinity, but you can also have this on the Evolution from something fell down. Fuck. Oh, it was the lid of the cup. Wait 1 second, so I don't lose this. Right. So what you can have is you can buy this small valves right onto the airbrush. You see this one? This is actually a lifesaver, because like this, for example, this one I already have it on me, so full open, right? And you can even hear it, full open. If I start twisting, you'll see that there's almost no air sound coming from it. But you see that's really small airflow coming. The way that you can see if the paint is more thick or not as well is reducing a little bit of the pressure. But what I like to do is, I know that around full throttle is 30 psi, full open. If I twist a little bit, I have the 25 psi. If I twist a little bit, just a slightly twist, I have like 20, 15, and it goes all the way down to 10%. So I'll be like having like 3 psi in this case. But yeah, this is a really good mini tool, let's call it like that. You can buy like almost for every brand there is. You need to check on the brand's website, but normally most of them have it. Citadel, I only recommend you to use the contrast paints. Otherwise, don't use the other ones. They're way too thick. They're way too grainy. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Where they have like those thick lumps of paint, which is a bummer. And yeah, I think that's mainly it. But what I like to do is, since Vallejo is a little bit more on the pigment side, a little bit more bigger, I guess, which is better because it has a better coverage, not gonna lie. AK has a better coverage. But since it's way more thick, I like to increase a little bit of the PSI just by changing the gauge nozzle here. And if I'm using AK, for example, I'll reduce a little bit because I don't need that. The pigment still is a little bit tinier, but it's less pigment than Vallejo as well. And for example, if I'm using Pro Acryl, it's more on the, it has more pigment, but it's more diluted. So I don't have to worry that much. The 25 is already good. I just need to pay more attention regarding the thinner. So I need to be more careful with the ratio. I can't be exaggerating too much. But yeah, what was I saying also? So the air to dry, the thinners, the way to clean, and I think that's pretty much it. Oh, if it's tankless, buy the thing. This is like what do you say? It's a filter. Yeah, it's a filter for moisture. But it actually helps you a little bit to maintain that flow, that consistent flow. Because it builds up air in here. So you have like a small chamber of air. And it removes that water that it might accumulate on the cable itself as well. So yeah. But even the tankless, they're really good and they're really smooth as well. They're really consistent. You just need to be careful with the PSI, as I said. Yeah, my two-stage season does that at the air compressor before it. Oh, okay, nice, awesome. So you don't need that. Sure. What else? What was I doing? All right, I was grabbing a little bit of the pink because now the blue tone that I sprayed over, it's way too aggressive. And I almost fucked it up on the thingy. Let me just spray a little bit of... What time is it? Woo, 5 a.m. here. Fucking hell. We're already past the 2-hour mark. And I need to get some sleep, but we'll finish this coverage in a second. So, we have, let me remove this water. Thinner. Let me shake the pink again, just to see if I can actually put it a little bit more diluted, because I don't know what the fuck happened, but yeah, I need to find a new place for my vortex mixer so it doesn't fuck up with the camera. The other day I had a viewer asking if I had like an earthquake, because he saw the camera shaking, he got worried. Fucking hell, bro. This vortex mixer is a baiter. I also find Citadel has to be thin before you even use a normal brush. Oh yeah, for sure. Like Vallejo is really good at keeping that moisture because it's on the thicker side, which actually is really good. I really like to use Vallejo when I'm going to do like those small jobs, you know, where where you just use just a tiny bit of just a tiny tip. Oh, you never had a natural disaster? Lucky you, bro. You don't know how lucky you are, cause it's fucking scary, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like the other day here in Portugal, we had, what was the? I think it was a 4.7, or was it a 5.2? Oh, actually, it was a 5.1 at the beginning by their statistic, but it jumped higher to 5.4. That's the correct number. And bro, it was fucking scary. Like, I was sleeping, and as you can see, I'm beneath my bed. So I have like a loft bed, and I have all my painting station beneath it. This thing shakes. Look at me shaking the bed. This thing shakes like hell. So as soon as the fucking earthquake started, bro, my bed was going crazy. It was like I was in a roller coaster or something like that. Like I jumped off my bed and I just started running around the house, just, you know, turning off the electric main thingy that I'm now forgetting the name. I turned off the gas connection, the water connection. I turned off everything just to be safe. I just got my lamps turned on, and then I wait for a replica. But it was fucking scary, bro. You could even like hear a sound where it was like the earth was like doing a growl noise, something like that. It's really, really weird and fucking scary. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I have some cracks around the walls after like 1 or 2 days. Like the wall created like a crack around my house. It's really wild, bro. It's really wild. Like I've never felt, so I didn't understand quite well what it was. And sometimes I thought like, well, maybe people were like exaggerating, right? A little bit. But because of the smaller scale, like the higher scale, I knew it's way off the charts and it's way crazier. But keep this in mind, a 0.1, I went to find out, a 0.1 measure increase, it's exponentially higher. So a 0.1 can be 30 times longer and higher in what comes to intensity, because it's exponential. So for example, if you have a 5.4 and a 5.5, even though it's just 0.1, the difference, it's way bigger. It can be like 30 times bigger of intensity and length of the fucking duration. I get minus 50 degrees in winter every year, so not so really good, but I've never felt an earthquake to landlocked. For tsunamis, I never had a tornado where I'm looking at. Well, I've never had a tornado as well. I've only seen those ones in the water. Like those water tornadoes. I've only seen one, but I've never seen a tornado here in Portugal. We've never had tsunamis, only way back in the 1800s, I think. That was the last one that we had, a major earthquake, which triggered a little bit of the tsunami down the river. But besides that, we haven't had a single big one. The thing is, Portugal has really, how do you say the name of it? Like cracks. You have really thick and long cracks that come all the way down from the deep sides of the seabed level and goes right up to our beaches. So yeah, it's fucking scary. And we even have one crack that I think that goes really close to one of our main bridge. So we have a bridge that's the first one that we have, but above the river, which is called 25 of April, which was the date that it was built. That bridge, it's really close to one of the cracks. So yeah, we're fucked if we by any chance have a big one. We're fucked. Oh, and another fun fact that it's not that fun, but yeah, Lisbon, one of the main cities in Portugal, it's, I don't know the exact number, so I'm not gonna lie to you, but it's way below the sea level. So like they did this like a computer simulation with it. They created the model of the city, and I think it's 25% of the city will be underwater if there is a tsunami, on an earthquake scale from 6 above. So yeah, we're pretty much fucked. Or whoever is on that city, actually I'm not, but who's on the center of Lisbon, half of it will be gone. Or, well, 25% will be gone. And half of it, where it's close to the river, that will be gone, all gone. It'll be submerged. Because what they did, the architects way back in the day, like 1700s or something like that, what they did was they built the city on top of logs of wood. So you have wood that it's hydrophonic, I think that's the name. Well, it's like hydroproof. So it's waterproof, the wood. So it can be stored underwater until, if it doesn't get any air, it doesn't, the wood doesn't get like corroded or something like that. It doesn't get petrified, not petrified, what the fuck am I saying? Well, you get what I'm saying. I'm too tired to think. But yeah, the thing is, they built the city on top of those logs, and now we have a major issue where in case of a tsunami, everything is swiped up. So the city is, it was built on the sea level. Since the sea level increased all over these years, the city at this moment, it's under the sea level, which is quite scary, I'm not gonna lie. I can't imagine what will happen to the city, to all those people that live near the river. It's really, really scary, not gonna lie. Just trying to reduce a little bit. Oh, way better. Way better. Just reducing here a little bit of the blue, making it more harmonious, not so harsh on the layers. Look at this. Blue, purple. Oh, hydrophobic. Okay, thank you. We just freeze, no big deal. Our city gets colder than the North Pole on the regular, so we like in a colder place. Holy shit, bro. Wait. Minus. Fucking hell. Now that I didn't read it correctly, you get minus 50 degrees Celsius. Bro, That's fucking insane. Oh, you can do those cool things like have a hot water, like a cup with hot water, and then you throw it up in the air and it becomes snow. That's actually cool, but it must be like a freaking hell to live in those conditions. Like you, there are days that you almost can't get out, right? And a lot of the times you must be like stuck in home, where you have like those huge high levels of snow, right? Blocking everything. You go to work every day, bro. Who are you, man? What? With minus 50 degrees? Bro. Here in Portugal, if you have something like near -1, we freeze to death. Holy damn, I can't even imagine 50 degrees Celsius, minus 50 degrees Celsius, bro. It must be insane. Oh, you have little snow, just cold temps? Okay. Well, at least it doesn't rain that much in there, so you don't have that much snow, but still, it's way... Whew, I can't even imagine, bro, the cold it gets. Well, you're like, you're accustomed to it, so it's not a big deal to you, I guess. But fuck, bro, that's way too much. I'm not gonna lie, that's way too much. That's way too much. I'm telling you, if there was minus 50 degrees here in Portugal, I wouldn't get outside of... I wouldn't go outside, bro. I would freeze to death. I'm not gonna lie. I don't even have garments for that. Holy shit. But it's amazing, like well, wool socks and long johns. You see a video. When it's so cold, the moisture freezes in the air and causes rain. Oh, that must be cool. That must be cool, bro. Holy shit. You also have plus 40? Bro, I didn't know. I didn't know at all. Like we have, I think the maximum that we had here in Portugal was 47 or 50 max, I think, this year, which we broke some records and stuff, but yeah. But the minus that we go, as far as I remember, it's like 8 degrees normally, 5 degrees. I think it was one of, I don't know if it was last year or something, that we actually hit -1, but it wasn't for too long, and it was in just some regions. Like in the main regions here in Portugal, you don't get to those temperatures. Only on the further north side of Portugal is where you get those temperatures. Otherwise, you don't get. So, yeah. Actually, here in Portugal, I only seen snowing like once or something like that. Well, fucking hell. I never thought that Canada was that cold. Holy shit. -40, bro. Oh no, -50. Holy shit. I'm still like amazed. If I had that temperature, like my car wouldn't even start, bro. He would be like, nah, not today. Not working today. Like even our houses, they are not prepared for that. For example, you must be like I went to Switzerland last year, so you must have for sure those heated floors and stuff like that, and your walls and stuff must be You know, they have the right thickness and the right materials to prevent heat from escaping and everything. You know, doubled or tripled thickness windows and stuff like that. So you must have all the right conditions, or at least most of you will have, to endure that. Here in Portugal, like bro, we have like buildings. Like for example, we have a rule here where all the buildings can't be more than 5 years without being painted outside. So you have the same thickness of layer to prevent some of the humidity and some of the cold, you know, temperatures to get inside. You have a lot of buildings, like old buildings here, and even new ones, where the people don't paint the buildings, and and they go like 15 years, 20 years without painting, bro. They don't have any like problem with the government because they're not actively searching for people who don't paint their buildings. And the thing is, you can even almost see from the paints the design of the bricks. So imagine that like you can have a graph in your mind that the paint, it's almost non-existent. So yeah, we don't have the conditions to endure such low temperatures. We also have no hills, really, so the wind can get bad. Oh, what? You can get a wind burn? No way. 90 to 100 kilometers an hour? Holy shit, bro. That's actually wild. I didn't know that. Oh, but yeah, since you don't have any hills, that's why you don't have hurricanes and stuff. Because otherwise, like American stuff, they have like really high hills, but then you have like a really flat surface, and then with the mixtures of airs and stuff, they get the tornadoes really quick. We plug them in. Our cars here have a block heater. Oh really? A wall plug that hits the engine block. No way, I didn't know that. It's funny, most houses only have one exterior door and dual pane glass windows. The installation is usually pretty good. You rarely see anyone paint their houses here. We use colored plastic siding on plywood. Oh, I see, right, because colored plastic, yeah, it creates that protection for the wood. Of course. Oh bro, that's so awesome. That's so freaking awesome. Like I can't lie to you. I envy you in that side. I envy you because here in Portugal, like I'm not gonna lie, like life here is good in some ways. In other ways, and most of the ways, it's pretty shitty in what comes to government stuff and condition stuff. Because either stuff, it's really high prices, where for the common people, like me for example, it gets harsh to get the right conditions so you don't feel like heat in the summer. For example, I'm not gonna lie to you, normally we had a mixture of 42 degrees to 47 here where I live. In my bedroom, I had this year 38 degrees without turning my computer and my printers on. I have one FDM printer and one SLA printer, so a resin printer. If I turn those three things on, my bedroom went from 38 degrees to 42. No fucking joke. And no, I don't have AC. I only have fans to make the... And I have some air extractor from the bathrooms and stuff connected to my room and I can extract all the fumes and air because I have an enclosure system. The thing is, bro, it gets really hot, and on the winter it gets really, really cold. Fortunately, on the winter it's better because we have like those heater systems, so yeah, it heats up the room. But in the winter we have a problem where the moisture is almost the same. It actually gets higher, I think. For example, in my house last winter, I think I had a percentage of humidity here of 80%. 80% inside my house. I had to use a dehumidifier, you know, those ones that grab the humidity in the air and builds it up and converts it to water. Yeah. Per day, I was extracting more than 5 liters of water, which is insane. 5 liters of water per day, it's way too much. Like I said, if I didn't have that, we would get 80% of humidity. No joke, it wasn't close to this year. I think it was like 5 years or something ago. I had literally fog in the morning inside my house, like in the hallway. We had fog, bro. Like a thick fog. It was insane. Let me check. Well, it's oh, not that one. Already saw that. Building codes and renovation enterprise is great to hear about. Like the population for the province I live is in around. Oh, yeah. As a heat source in the winter for myself slow. That's funny, bro. That's funny. In floor heating here is very rare due to how cold it gets. There's a high chance of... Oh, yeah, right. Makes sense. Oh, and it's... Well, 40, it's not good, right? Because supposedly for the wealth being of us humans, it's 50%. I think that's the best level, I guess. But yeah, I envy you in that part. I don't envy you, for example, regarding the 3D printers, because 3D printers, especially the resin ones, they are really sensible regarding the temperatures. Like, you need to have heaters for the resin. And I also bought ones, and they are a pain in the ass to keep the resin in that right temperature. So it doesn't have those fails. Which actually, this conversation reminded me that we are getting close to winter, so I should be speeding up my last prints that I have to do. But yeah, look at this. I think this one, actually, the one that I did now is better. These coats are way better. But I do have one that it's more pinky than the other one. I don't know why. But yeah, this will be the main light sources. I will be doing, maybe tomorrow, off stream, a lighter pink than this one. I'll add just a little bit of a yellow tone. Maybe, I don't know, maybe sand yellow, something like this. I'll add a little bit of the sand yellow to here. And I'll spray it out on top, just a really small line, just to create like the main highlight. And then this is the shadow, and this is the highlight that we'll be having. And now what I will be doing is, without removing, this is a cool tip for you. So let me see if I can grab like a pencil here. A pencil. I called my paintbrush a pencil. So what I'll be doing is, I won't be removing all the layer beneath. So for example, if I'm building a greenish tone, I won't be hiding either the blue or either the the pink. I'll leave like a really small rim around, you know what I'm talking about? Because that way I won't be hiding the light effects. That's a cool tip for you. The only trick side is when you have like these huge areas. But normally what I would do is, as you can see here, I would only paint on this part and I'll leave like this really thin layer of blue between the pink. You see where it's wet? So yeah, for example, in here, I would do something like this. And I would leave like a really small line. I learned this with Ninja. You can check his videos out because he's really good at explaining them. I copied his technique. But yeah, I would do this and I would leave just a little bit of blue. Just to have that small highlight around the edge, just to give a really cool tone. But yeah, the squig, I would be painting him as red. And then maybe, just maybe, I don't know if I'm going to be spraying a little bit of this sand yellow just beneath, just to make that tone, you know, where the belly is a little bit more soft. And yeah, guys, I'm sorry, but I have to go. It's 4:30, no, 5:30. Sorry, here in Portugal. And yeah, I will have to 3D print my bunny as well. But look, it will be awesome. I still don't know how I'm going to do the base. Maybe I'll keep the same highlight just to give a harmonious way. Maybe I'll do like from, but it will be tricky. It will be tricky, not gonna lie. Because I don't have too much shadow here. Yeah, I'll record it and then I'll show you later on my Instagram, maybe tomorrow or something like that, how it turns out. But yeah, guys, thank you a lot. I hope you have a great night. And if you by any chance need any tip or something, just hit me up on Instagram. I'll help you out whenever I can. I'm also building up my Discord channel so we can all get in touch in a more frequent way and share more thoughts on that. Because I normally, when I go on vacation with my girlfriend, I take some photo references which help us on reflections, for example, colors, some nuances, shadows, stuff like that. I really like to take pictures. I normally bring up my camera, which I have right here, mounted up to take pictures to my minis. But yeah, which actually I reminded myself that before I go to bed, I need to take a picture of this one that I painted the other day. I think it was last week. So yeah, we'll be doing that, and yeah, see you guys on the next week. Next Saturday, I'll see you. Have a great night. Peace. Yeah, it was an idea from Nijan. I freaking love that guy. Not gonna lie. Let me show you. It was this. He's building like some color schemes. He called it deck of colors, I think. I bought it, but I don't have it yet. But he's shown some of the cards on his YouTube channel, and they are insane. The main purpose is you pick up a card that you like. You can see the way that it was designed. You pick up those 5 colors, and then you only use those ones to paint. This is what I came up with. It was fucking hard, bro, but it's a really good technique to help you understand colors. Because like these colors are really well thought, right? They took, and they're harmonious. they work together, like they're all almost warm, and you have a really cool like connection between them. For example, you have this design also. I could have gone with this one, but I decided the other one. Which ones do I have more? All right. I also have this one that he's shown, which is fairly similar. You also have this one. So you have like a pretty bunch of cards that he has shown, and it's insane. Like, if you use these 5 colors, I guarantee you like a really good and vibrant miniature. You just need to understand. And what I did was, to understand the mixture of the colors, I spent like 15 to 20 minutes mixing a lot of these colors, these 5 colors, between them, just to understand which color I could put on where. And yeah, this is what I come up with. And it was really tricky to separate the tones between them and getting the right tones. And I didn't use any black or white. So yeah. So I'll be taking photos of this. And guys, thank you a lot. Thank you so much, Tickle, for the follow. Really appreciate it. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a great night.